how to review Google Shopping ads and improve the results. In today's video, I'm going to go into a couple of the key definitions and what I call the key performance metrics, which are the exact metrics you should be looking out for. What do the numbers mean? And what are the ways to improve those numbers such that you're going to get a more profitable campaign? If you've been running Google Shopping ads for a while and you kind of know your numbers, but you're still feeling fuzzy about some of the other numbers and you're not sure if they are important, then this is the video for you. I'm also going to take you through the process of how I work with my clients and how I help to analyze those numbers and identify those opportunities where you can make real improvements and you'll be able to see the results. Hi, I'm Clarice Lin, the ROI doctor who doubles store revenue with profitable Google Shopping ads. If you're new to my channel, welcome. You might want to check out one of my best resources, the Shopify Marketing Guide. Link in the description and pinned comments. I go into the pros and cons of different ways to drive free and paid traffic to your store, aside from running Google Ads, because I believe that running Google Ads by itself is not sufficient if you really want to grow your store and bring it to the next level. If you haven't considered that, or if you want to also explore other opportunities, then I'll highly recommend you to check out that guide. First of all, I want to show you this flow chart. Check this out here. It's divided into 4 phases, mainly impressions, clicks, consider, and purchase. 4 phases. This is the journey of how a Google Shopping ad visitor comes from Google Ads, goes through the process, arrives in your store and decide to buy. And this is a simplified version. It doesn't mean that anyone who has seen your ad is going to click on it, and anyone who has clicked on your ad come to your store. It doesn't mean that they're going to become customers. But what I'm trying to do over here is to help you get as many impressions as possible, showing to the right people who click on it and come to the store, and also give you recommendations on how you can get more of those clicks becoming your customers. We will start with basic definitions. Impressions. You might have seen this metric in the report, impressions. And why is this important? Impressions basically refers to the market potential. And what this means for Google Shopping ads is the more keywords or relevant keywords or phrases that you put into your ads, whether it is the product title, the description, the other attributes, whether it's the color, the material, product weight, dimensions, all of this information that you submit into your product feed into Google Merchant Center, Google will digest, so to speak, all this data information, process it, and in their back-end system, there is a matching system where they will actually match to it and decide when to show your product ad on shopping results. Every time someone goes to Google Shopping results, type in a keyword and Google shows them the results. And if your ad appears there, that's an impression. So someone could have seen your ad or could have glanced through your ads, depending on whether your ads are outstanding. But nonetheless, as long as your ad appears in one of the search results, then an ad impression is counted. And in order to get more clicks come to your store, first of all, you need to get as many impressions as possible. That's why you need to count impressions. Because sometimes you might know that what are the top keywords that people could be looking for when they go to Google. But there could be other longer tail keywords where you would want to explore as well, because there could be other opportunities that could help to get more of your ads in front of the right people. One thing I want to highlight is if your product ads, your title and your description does not have the right keywords in them, does not have the right search terms that your potential customers are typing into Google, then you might have a problem. Then your ads could be showing to the wrong people. When your ads are being shown to the wrong people, then you are unlikely to get clicks. So you want to make sure that even though you're getting more impressions, you want to also make sure that it goes on to the next part. If you're not getting any clicks from your impressions, that means there could be something wrong with your ads. It means you're not putting the keywords into your ads. That's why Google does not know that those are the searches that your ads should be showing for. So they just show your ads to the wrong people. One of the biggest mistakes that people do with their ads is that they might come up with a fancy name that has nothing to do with their product. Although you want to come up with creative names, but the keywords of the product itself still needs to be there. You have to remember that you are not a big brand when you're starting out. You're not Adidas, you're not New Balance. And when you come up with creative product names that nobody has heard of, then it's difficult for Google to match your product to the search term. If someone is looking for a light blue running shoes, and you come up with a creative name for the shoes that you have, Fly By Night, and there's no mention of the color of the shoes, and there's no mention of running shoes, there is no way that Google knows that your product is actually a running shoes and actually show your ad to the right people. What I'm giving here is probably a slightly more exaggerated version of what an ad that does not contain the right keyword is looking like, but I hope you get the gist of it. And the next thing, going back to the funnel over here, once you get the impressions to the right people, the next thing is when they see your ad, they're going to click on it. The click represents interest in your products. Whether your ads get a click or no click depends on the number of factors. As I mentioned earlier, if you're showing to the wrong people, then obviously you're not going to get any clicks. But then there is also the second consideration where your ads are being shown to the right people, but you're not getting the clicks. This is usually down to your ad itself, primarily your product image. If your brand is a luxurious brand, you have to make sure that your product image really stands out. Take a look at what are your competitors' ads looking like to see if your ad actually look different from your competitors. If you are biased towards your own ads, what you can do is maybe you can ask a couple of friends to go to Google and type in the search, and then take a look at the search results and see which are the ads that caught their attention, which were the product image that really got their attention and they want to click on it. If your ad unfortunately falls into the category of not eye-catching enough, then nobody's really going to click on it. And you will understand that even though you might get a lot of impressions, then you might not necessarily get that interest. What you need to understand about this metric clicks is a measure of interest. And the more clicks you get, then there will be a higher chance that one of those clicks are going to turn into your potential customer. And you also want to be monitoring closely your clicks. If you're getting a lot of impressions and you're getting no clicks, then there's definitely something you need to be working on, whether it is to improve your product image, get different images, get a photographer to retake your pictures. Maybe you just need to do some touch up to your pictures, or you can use one of those different AI tools that can improve maybe the background of your image, making it more outstanding compared to your other competitors to make it pop, so to speak. So when someone comes to the search results page, you'll see, oh, this looks really interesting. Let me click on it. One of the tools that Google has rolled out, if you're not already aware of it, is called Product Studio. If you're using the Google and YouTube tool, you will be able to see that in beta mode. You'll be able to check that out and generate a good background image, rather than maybe a plain background. If every one of your competitors has a plain background and your background shows a different color, maybe more prestigious, then you're more likely to get that click from your potential customer. The third factor that could affect the click, shipping costs. If you're able to offer a more competitive shipping cost, that's really going to be part of your advantage, because if you can offer something that's cheaper for some people, it could be more advantageous. And also likely if you have a lower shipping cost, Google is also more likely to show your ads further in front. The fourth factor that could affect the clickability of your ads are reviews. If you're not selling directly to companies, you're selling directly to customers, people are looking for reviews. And if you have collected reviews and you're submitting these reviews to Google Merchant Center, Google is also more likely to show your ads in front of potential customers. If you haven't collected any reviews yet, I strongly urge you to start collecting them. If your competitors are also showing their reviews and you have no reviews, you're more likely to have lesser clicks compared to them. Also, Google is more likely to show their ads compared to your ads because of the presence of reviews. Reviews is a representation of trustworthiness, and if your competitors have high volume of reviews that varies between 3 to 4 stars and you have 0 reviews, that puts your products at a slight disadvantage. Next, going back to this shopping journey. After the impressions, after getting the clicks, you are getting people to your store. Finally, so you're getting people who are considering to buy your products. People who come to your store, they are not necessarily waiting to buy straight away. Sometimes, depending on the price points of your product, if the products that they are buying cost maybe more than $100 to $200, then they are more likely to do more research, so they feel that they are making the best decision. And when they're doing their research, then they might not buy straight away. So that would explain why sometimes you get a lot of clicks, but you might not necessarily see the sales straight away. There will be a percentage of those clicks that turn into sales straight away, but there will also be a percentage of sales from people who might return over the next few days or next week or maybe in a few months' time. We don't know. All of this depends on the industry of your products, the products that they're buying, and the price points. Despite all of these variables, there is also a big factor that determines whether those clicks are going to turn into sales straight away. It doesn't mean anyone who comes to your store, they are all excited to buy. First, they come to the store, and one of the first things that they are looking at is whether the product that they see right on the page is similar to what they were envisioning when they first saw your product ad. If it looks totally different, or if it's not what they expected when they saw the pictures and they look at the product title, it looks very different from before, then they are likely to leave straight away. You'll be able to find out more of this information if they left straight away through your Google Analytics report. If you want to learn more about how to use Google Analytics to improve your Google Ads campaigns, you can check out one of my other videos, how to use Google Analytics to improve the profitability of your Google Ads campaigns, link in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Right. Let's say if the shopper sees that the product is kind of in line with what they were envisioning, there will be a couple of things they are also looking at the same time. They are looking at your store, whether it's of a professional design, whether they can trust your store, whether they can trust your products. If they are buying a product that is $100, $200, they want to see that your store looks really professional. Let's say if you go to one of the prestigious Louis Vuitton store, it has a luxury brand, you can see that those stores, the layout of the store looks really prestigious, it looks really clean, it looks really tidy, the materials that they use, the color, the products they have laid out in the store, they look immaculate. Similarly for your store, if you're selling high price point products, you want to make sure your store is properly designed, the colors look great, they look good together, the pictures are of really high quality. If they zoom in, they can see everything really clearly. They can see that the products are of high quality. All of this needs to be reflected on the store. These people coming to your store for the first time after seeing an ad, they have never heard of your store before. They don't know what's your brand about. They don't know if they can trust your business. They don't know if they can trust the products from the store after they buy. Are the products going to be what they have seen on your store pages? Does the store have previous customers who have bought from your store and can vouch that your products are excellent? These are the clues that they're looking for. They're looking for those trust factors. They want to determine if your store can be trusted. So there will be the number of elements that they're looking for. They're looking for reviews. They want to check if your store is really legit. They will check out maybe your social media profiles as well. And they will look at your entire store design. They want to find out about your store. Where is it located? Is it in the United States? Is it in Canada? Which part of it? Maybe they want to do more Googling, any shipping information as well. If they are intending to buy a gift, they also want to know how much it costs to ship to them, as well as if what's your refund policy. If they don't like the products, what can they do? Set the expectations. Make sure all of these details are easily accessible. They would also greatly help the shopper to make an informed decision. Help them to trust your store. Give them all of this information up front so they can decide that they want to go ahead, that they can trust your store. They can't wait to take out their card details and put in their payment details as soon as possible to buy from you. If your store is relatively well known but you haven't been collecting those reviews, your social media profiles are not really active, make sure you address that. If you have previous customers who have reviewed your products on social media and they have tagged your brand, take a screenshot of that. You can share it on your own social media profile. All of this evidence helps to demonstrate to the customers that, hey, we are to be trusted. We have great products. Buy from me. Your store need to portray and show all of this information. Great. I hope that was useful and helps you get a glimpse into the customer's journey from a Google ad click all the way to your store and how they will potentially get into customers. By working on all those recommendations that I've given, it's really going to help you get more impressions, the ads being shown to the right people, getting the clicks from the right people, getting more of those clicks from the right people. After getting those clicks, turning those clicks into sales, to turn as many clicks as possible into sales, and what you can do to make that happen. The second part of the video, I'm going to go into the key metrics, sometimes also known as the key performance indicators, which I like to call, which to some people could be a little bit corporate, but basically we're looking at what are the ways we can measure the success of your campaigns, and by looking at those numbers, will give you a better idea of what you should be looking out for and where you can make those improvements. These are the key metrics that I use to discuss with my clients when I work with them to manage their ads, because without all these numbers, it's crazy to know how you can actually improve the ads. Simply by looking if you're getting any sales at all, it doesn't tell you which are the areas of your ads you need to make improvements on. However, with these metrics, it tells you exactly which are the parts of the journey between getting the impressions to the clicks to the sales. You know which part went wrong, and you know exactly which are the different areas you can work on to improve the performance of your campaign. Number 1, impressions. Because we want to get your ads shown to more people as possible. After optimization, you will see your ad is being shown to more people. And if there is potential to show to more people and help Google to understand which are the other people that you can show your ads for, it's going to be really helpful. So impressions is definitely one of the metrics that I look at. Clicks, that's the second metric. When you're increasing your budget or when you're getting more impressions, ideally you should be getting more clicks. If you're getting more impressions but you're not getting more clicks, that is a strong indicator. Usually there is something wrong with the campaign itself. Typically there are 2 reasons. Your ads are not showing to the right people. That means you need to work on the ads, maybe to put in more of the right keywords, or you are getting shown the impressions but you're not getting the clicks. That means you need to improve the ad itself, which could be the image, as what I've mentioned earlier. The image itself, the reviews, putting in the reviews, or maybe other shipping costs that could make your products less competitive compared to other stores. This is why I use click-through rate as a strong indicator of whether the ad is performing. The typical average click-through rate of a Google Shopping ad is 0.86%. If I see my clients' campaigns showing something less than that, like 0.5% or less, one of the primary things I'm usually looking at is to improve on the image. There's typically something wrong with that. If the click-through rate is quite healthy and it remains healthy, then we'll look at the 4th metric, which is the conversions. If you're getting a lot of clicks to your store, but those clicks are not turning into sales, then one of the primary reasons is there is either not getting clicks from the right people, or it could be the second reason, your store is not demonstrating the trust needed for the customers to decide to buy from you. And as I've mentioned earlier on in the video, those are the different areas that you can work on. You can go back to the earlier part of the video and rewatch that part on those areas to improve on how to get your potential customers to decide to buy from you. This is a summary of the key areas which you can improve on in your store to get people to trust your store, trust your business, and buy from you. I'm going to put it right here. For details, rewind this video back and watch the first part where I had gone to details of all of this. The next metric that I also look at is the conversion value. You want to know how much sales you're getting based on how much you're spending on the ads. So the conversion value is also a metric that I look at, although conversion value by itself is sometimes not as important as the conversion value over ad spend, which is one of the other metrics that I look at as well to find out if the campaign is profitable and if it's worth it. If the campaign is not profitable, we also want to look at what are the different ways to improve the profitability of the campaign. Probably it would be to maybe to exclude certain products which has a lower price point, or to create bundles of the product so you can increase the average order value of the customers. However, there's a caveat I want to put to it. If you are not selling high price point products, then definitely Google Shopping Ads is not for you. Google Shopping Ads or Google Ads in general is a very expensive way to drive traffic to your store. And I would definitely only recommend you to run Google Ads if you have high profit margins for your products and the average order value of your store is high. If someone is buying a $9 product every time they come to your store, it's probably not profitable for your store if they're only buying that amount. But if your average order value is at least like $20 to $30 or more, even better, the more the better, then it's more likely that you're going to have a profitable campaign. But if your products all cost less than $5 each, then definitely Google Ads is not for you. Don't bother running Google Ads because you're just going to burn up more money before you can make more money. The next metric that I use to discuss with my clients is the conversion rate. Typically around nearer to a 2% conversion rate would be a healthy conversion rate. But of course, I don't just look at conversion rates metric by itself. I also look at what is the number of conversions, what is the amount of conversion value. If the conversion value is really low, and even if you have a high click-through rate, so to speak, it also makes the campaign not profitable. So you can't just look at one metric by itself. You You need to look at a number of different metrics together at the same time and then decide if this is a profitable campaign and what's exactly wrong with your campaign. And then you get a clearer idea of what are the areas that are wrong or which are the areas that are very wrong, so you can make the right changes accordingly. And conversion rate is important because it measures how many of those clicks are turning into sales. The average conversion rate is 1.91% for Google Shopping ads. If you have a really low conversion rate, like 0.5%, that means there is opportunity to work on getting more of those clicks to turn into sales. For Google Shopping ads, that's the most effective way in general for Shopify stores, because usually if you are selling a tangible product and people can actually see how it looks like, they're more likely to buy. And it's also costs much less than if you're running Google search ads or dynamic search ads. If you're running shopping ads, I can definitely assure you that people who go to shopping, they're definitely wanting to buy something or researching to buy something, and the cost is much lower. There's a very effective way to drive traffic to your store. If you have some money, you have high profit margins, and you want to get more of those people who are in that stage of wanting to make a purchase. And the next metric, which I think is fairly important as well, is the cost per conversion, which means how much does it cost for you to get a new customer. And this is really important because it helps you see if this is going to be profitable for your business. If you have customers who buy from you again and they are turning into customers who come to your store monthly and make a second purchase or third purchase, it's more likely they're running shopping ads for your store. It's going to be a profitable acquisition tool. And if you know what's your cost per conversion, even if it's slightly higher than what you would have expected, but you know that they're going to make another purchase or they're going to subscribe to one of your monthly packages, that's going to make your Google ad budget more worthwhile. And last but not all, one of the key metrics as well that I look at very closely is the cost per click. Why is cost per click important? Cost per click is a measure of how your ad budget is being spent. Is it spent efficiently? Could you get more clicks with that ad budget? And the average cost per click for Google Shopping ads is USD 0.66 cents. And this gives you a good benchmark of whether your campaign is performing correctly. If your campaign is performing correctly, you likely get a low cost per click that's around that range. Depending on industries and the volume of competitors, sometimes cost per click could be slightly higher, but generally the cost per click would usually be less than $1 in general for shopping ads. And that's a good way to be improving on if you are getting a healthy conversion rate, you're getting the right click-through rate. And then the next thing you want to be improving on will be kind of the cost per click as well, because you want to make sure that each dollar that you're spending on ad is going to get you the maximum amount of clicks possible that are going to turn into potential customers. All of these 9 metrics that I'm looking at the beginning, I would typically focus more on the impressions, clicks, conversions, and what's the conversion value. And once that's more stabilized and falls to more of the normal range, then I'll be looking at how can we improve on the revenue on ad spend, how can we get a lower cost per conversion, how to get a lower cost per click so we are spending the ad budget most efficiently. So these are the areas that I look at when I work with my clients. By looking at these metrics, these are the tools that helps me to make data-driven recommendations based on the numbers. When I work with my clients, I'll use the numbers to help me make a more accurate recommendations based on how the ad is performing. With these metrics, I'm able to pinpoint more accurately where are the areas that need the most improvements. Improvements recommendation could be whether it is time to increase the ad budget. Should we decrease the ad budget? Should we increase more ad groups? Should we improve the images? Should we add more keywords? So these are the areas of improvement that I look at and come up with based on the performance of the ad, based on those numbers that I track and monitor on a regular basis. If you want to work with a specialized Shopify expert in scaling up your Google ads to make it more profitable, do check out my contact details in the description and pinned comments. Typically, how I work with my clients is to start with a diagnostics approach to audit the different accounts, Google Ads account, Google Merchants account, and looking at the store to get a bird's eye view of what's really happening with your store, looking at those numbers so I'll understand which other areas that need the most improvement on, and I'll prioritize those accordingly. If you don't want to work with a big agency and you would like specialized support, do get in touch. If you have other questions around how you can improve your click-through rate, I have a more in-depth video where I go into the 7 ways where you can specifically improve your click-through rate. you can check out the link in the top right hand corner of the screen. And if you're struggling to get more impressions as well, I also have an in-depth video where I go into how to improve those impressions, what are the different areas, specifically with examples as well. You can check out link in the top right hand corner of the screen. If you're not sure whether it's time to increase your budgets and you have seen Google giving you a nudge with a limited by budget status, then you could also check out one of my other videos, Limited by Budget, where I explain what exactly it means when you get the limited by budget notification and what you need to do next. So link in the top right hand corner of the screen. Hope this video was useful for you. These are the key areas that I discuss with my clients when they come to me, and they have found these conversations really fruitful. So I hope this gives you a good foundation. If you found it really valuable, do remember to give it a like. Do subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future videos on how to double your Shopify store revenue by scaling up profitable Google Shopping ads. I'm Clarice Lin, the RI Doctor, signing off. Stay profitable.